And hello everybody, hashtag CJ McKay here, agus Falter Roka D and Dragon Project and my brand new Star Wars series. Let's go kill some droids.
In the waning months of the Clone Wars, the 501st faced missions critical to the agenda of Chancellor Palpatine. When we arrived at the bombed-out ruins of Megiddo, our Jedi commander believed we had been sent to take out a droid energy collector. What Ki-Adi-Mundi didn't know, however, was that our unit of the 501st was really after an experimental Megiddan power source that the Chancellor wanted for his super laser. Keeping Mundi in the dark wasn't easy. The Jedi had become increasingly wary of the Chancellor's doings, and were on the lookout for the slightest hint of treachery. Just like the rest of them, though, he never caught whiff of what was really going on, until it was far too late.
All right, men. Today's target is an energy collector on the northern section of the platform. If we can take it down, production facilities in the area will grind to a halt. Let's move them out. The enemy's forward command post is on the other side of this bridge. We'll have to capture it before moving on.
And here we are now, everybody, straight into the action for my Star Wars Battlefront 2 series. And this episode is taking place on the planet of Maito, or however you may want to pronounce it. It's an alien planet, I don't care enough to actually try. As is the theme of this game, I am playing as a clone trooper fighting droids. Now, the intro video has revealed a lot about the plotline for this so far, and we're going to see the appearance of a Jedi who actually is on the Jedi Council. Most people know him as Big Head, Ki-Adi-Mundi. He has a binary brain, that's why he has the enlarged cranium and all that jazz. He gets betrayed pretty horribly on this one. In fact, this planet is where Ki-Adi-Mundi dies according to the official lore for Star Wars. So, fortunately, it's pretty sucky for him, but that's how it's gonna go. This series takes place during the Clone Wars, which is between the second and third Star Wars movies. This is pretty crucial to the plotline of Star Wars, and it was left out of the movies, which is why I'm really enjoying this game so far. I'm really looking forward to making it a long-running standing series here on the channel. What this game goes over is the clones. See, the clones come into it in the second movie, and they're the bad guys. There's just this big giant army of clones for no reason, and they're bad and they're attacking. It's kind of ridiculous how much they skip over between those two movies. There's about, I don't know, 13 or 14 years just missing between episode 1 and 2. And in that time, what happens is the clone army were essentially created. The public reason behind that was to destroy the droid army, which is seen in episode 1. But actually Senator Palpatine, who's the Emperor, the last remaining Sith species, is actually using them as a front to collect parts for his Death Star. As the intro video said, we're here to get a experimental energy source for his super laser, the one that destroys Alderaan.
Commence primary ignition.
Clone Wars are a really interesting subject if you're into the Star Wars lore, and it really does cover a lot of incredibly interesting stuff. You go away, tank, I'm gonna blow you up. Oh shit. Oh, this thing has rockets as well. I should have been using those the whole time. Sorry, I got completely distracted by the game there. So yeah, the Clone Army was created because there was this giant droid army that disappears in between Episode 1 and 2. Episode 1 is The Phantom Menace, where we deal with the return of the Sith. In Episode 1, Ki-Adi-Mundi, the Jedi who we're going to see pretty shortly in this episode, is quoted as saying that the Sith have been extinct for a long time. And that's actually not 100% true, because Senator Palpatine is actually a Sith. I just fell off into a river of rushing water. God damn it. Jet Trooper time. Whee! I love flying. So yeah, Senator Palpatine, the Emperor, the person who kind of turns Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader, the creepy old guy from the later movies, he's a lot of kind of faces and names, so I just want to be very clear about who that was for everybody, is pretty much in charge of the Clone Army and is using them for his own means. Ki-Adi-Mundi, who we're just seeing now joining the battle, unfortunately gets used as a puppet in that, even though he believed the Sith are completely extinct, so his ignorance led to his folly. And yeah, he is. So one big thing about that line, though, about the Sith being extinct, is it's true within the later movies, because the Sith are not just an ethos of Jedi, like Dark Jedi, they're actually a race, an immortal race who live forever. So the secret of immortality that the Sith once had died with the Senator when he dies in the later movies. It is actually a pretty big deal within the Star Wars lore that he is like an actual Sith species as opposed to just one of the, you know, Dark Jedi recruits of the Sith species who they corrupted to use for their own end. So yeah, I'm just kind of working with the Clone Army now as Ki-Adi-Mundi, killing as many droids as I can, protecting as many clones as I can, even though I really shouldn't be doing that because they are evil and going to betray me and I'll die on this planet. But c'est la vie, or c'est la whatever death is in French. Yeah, so basically I'm about to go assault the energy collector now and collect the power source for the giant laser in the Death Star, which is a pretty cool piece of, like, I like that they've really included, like, the later movies and the goals of the Emperor, even before he had Anakin Skywalker as a Dark Jedi. Stuff like that. I find this game really interesting. It covers a lot of cool stuff about the Clone Wars, and the Clone Wars are what I'm going to be covering for the most part for this series. I find the Clone Wars incredibly interesting, as I've said so far, and I'm going to cover what lore was covered in them and kind of fill in the gaps for, you know, all the Star Trek lovers out there who might not know the little factoids I'm including in this series. Yeah, now I'm going to not bother to take down the force field and hop it and destroy this thing, and yeah, collect the crystals and run to my death. Whoop whoop. Now I'm gonna play a second second level in this episode. I'm gonna for my first episode I want to make it awesome, and the next level is gonna be a space battle. So how cool is that? Everyone's gonna get to see me fly around in an X-Wing fighter, and it's gonna be fun. I promise everybody. The second half of this video will get even more awesome than the first. But poor Ki-Adi-Mundi is now pretty much on his way out, so I'm gonna take out a few droids on my way. Kind of live up life a little bit, a bit on the way back to the dropship where I'm gonna bring the laser for the Senator. I feel really bad doing this, marching this guy to his death, and I just friendly fired there, so now I feel even worse. But yeah, it's what I have to do. That's the mission.
Sir,
so
I can see the dropship.
Yay! Yeah, I can see the well, one of my comrades can see the dropship. Now, I was hoping to see a few droidicas before I left this level. For anyone who doesn't know, there's one! Yeah, droidicas are the big scary mofos with 4 legs and shields. So yeah, I was really hoping to see a droidica before I left this level, because as fun as the bots are, the droidicas to me were one of my favourite things from The Phantom Menace. The Phantom Menace wasn't a movie I really loved that much, but it was the only Star Wars movie I saw in the cinemas as a kid. It was the Star Wars for my generation, which I kind of don't like, but you know, you take what you get, and droidicas are cool, so I'm glad I got to kill a few.
Nicely done, gentlemen. Your work here today has made the Chancellor a very happy man.
The success of the mission on Mygeeto was something of a revelation for the men of the 501st. Suddenly, we realized that the Jedi could be fooled. And if they could be fooled, they could be killed.
Skidly beep.